On this episode, we take this Lincoln and we put it in the weeds. Well, the Lincoln's back. And a bunch of empty Ridetech boxes. But what could be happening? Air ride. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Out with the old shocks. You've done well, Shocks. Let's go Milwaukee.
Sorry, bro. I tried.
It was close. I thought about it. And then it was like,
I'm
I'm good.
It's all right. Your big brother will come to the rescue.
Here it goes. It's because the other one loosened it for it. Yeah, these are gross. This is all for ride comfort in 67. Rubber wrapped leaf springs. And we don't have smell-o-vision, but if you did, you'd be gagging.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, it's nasty. While we had it all apart, we wire wheeled and cleaned all this. We'll repaint it when we go to put everything else back in, but yeah, so far so good.
I don't want to say it. It's too early. I'm out.
This is one of the coolest spacers I've ever seen. Can we just take a minute and appreciate this block? It's like a solid piece that they've machined down. I think we're gonna have to break this side loose.
I think you're right.
And it's offset, so it changes the position of the axle. Like, that's just awesome.
Nailed it.
There it is.
You did a thing, Dad.
That's pretty awesome. And it's done.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's good. That's all good.
Damn.
That is too cool.
Got that Carolina squat going on now.
Yeah, the front's still stock.
It's happening.
How much? What are we up to?
So yesterday we took everything apart, got the lower control arm out. Up here is the shock mount, which is held in by 2 rivets, which we have drilled out and then hammered out, as you can see there. Dan took some time last night and cleaned everything and painted it so it looks a little nicer. Now, we've got these plates. They're going to sit up top here. They bolt through. Once your airbag comes up in seats, there's a piece of all thread that'll come through this hole. We tighten everything down, and that's what holds the bag in from the top. That's what we're doing.
I dig it.
Dig it?
I do.
Get to work.
the one that say P supposed to be on the driver's side, or?
Why would one says P supposed to be on the
I don't know. It says P.
It says D.
That one says a P right there. All right, so we've got the lower control arms in, and you have to do some clearancing right here on this frame. And I'm gonna try to adjust the camera so you can see. You gotta cut a notch out of this because the shock mount and the shock and everything, you need to travel in there. We worked this arm all the way up as far as we could get it, and it didn't look like it could conceivably ever make contact with that. But the instructions do call for clearancing that, so that's...
It's got room now.
Yeah, so that's what we did. It's got room. We plasma cut a whole little thing out of that. So that's good for this side. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Plasma cut, smooth it out, paint it so it looks really good.
Game on.
Yeah, let's do it. What we got going on in here?
So we're getting ready to put the shock mount up in here, which keys off the factory steering box bolts, and then a couple bolts that'll self-tap into this frame rail here. But this little piece of sheet metal is in the way, so we got to cut that out. We're gonna cut it out. I also got to relocate the brake line bracket. We'll do that here and put it all together.
So we've got the front suspension now all mocked up. So what we're gonna do is Andy's gonna let it down and we're gonna see how low it goes and check out what kind of clearances we've got.
Oh my, we're still on the lift. It will go lower.
Wow. That looks so mean. Like, look at the back. That looks good. So that is what it looks like aired out. Wow.
That's low.
Yeah, it's gonna go a tad lower. So now we're going through the tedious process of running all of the airline.
Hello.
What we're gonna do is we are going to run this airline along the same path as we took for the pressure fuel line when we did the EFI in this. So we're coming through the engine bay, down through this fender well, right through here. We're gonna run it down the factory line location all the way back. And that's gonna be the cleanest way to run it. We're gonna do it on both sides. Luckily, this side actually had a cover plate here, factory. So we were able to reuse that. You can't even tell from the outside that there's a line running there. So I might end up making a cover for this side as well. I like the way that looks. So, Andy, what do you say?
I like it.
Indeed.
We're gonna make it happen.
Indeed, sir.
I need zip ties, that's what I say.
Zip tie! Every shop needs zip ties. Lots of them. All right. It's broke.
It's not working.
So we got the full Ridetech Air Pod all set up in there. We got to do some rewiring and repositioning of these amps. But we got the front lines run through and under the car, going to the trunk on both sides. What we'll do is we'll loop those back through, run them to the rear shocks, cut this side, and then we can just terminate the ends where they need to be.
Terminator.
But I think that's it for
That's it for tonight.
For tonight, yeah. We'll be back at it tomorrow.
I'm tired.
And
I need a shower bad.
yeah, this car has a lot of road grime on the bottom, so
That's what I call it.
as we are hitting things and working on things, stuff's just falling on us. So next bit is going to be looping those back through, terminating both ends from the shocks to those. We might take a leaf out of the rear to get the rear a little bit lower. But other than that, I think we're pretty good.
I agree.
It's moving very fast and very well, so we're happy. So we just finished up the front suspension. Everything is kind of in place. We got the shocks in, we got the airbag in, we've got the Air Ride position sensors in. So got these mounted here, and this is the actual arm that connects the 2 points together, and you trim these to match the height that you need. But I'll let Andy tell you a little bit about how that works.
All right. So basically what you need to do, I have one in my hand here. The way you set them up is they put these little pins on here, and then there's these little, I'm assuming like a roll pin is what it looks like. These will actually go a full 180 degrees of rotation. However, there's only 90 degrees in the middle that is usable. So what you have to do is they give you that little pin. You line it up here. When that pin's lined up there, and when that is lined up with that pin, that's 90 degrees in the middle of rotation. You have to stay within that realm for full suspension travel up and down. So what we've done here, we're in that. Got the anchor or the arm that comes down, misses the sway bar. This is plenty of room because as the suspension goes up, they're gonna go up uniformly. Technically it'll get a little tighter out here, but it still doesn't hit. So we've got that in. I added a little tab up top here with a weld nut on the back side to anchor that guy in. You wanna make sure that they are actually loose in there so that they can rotate. Beyond that, it's kind of trial and error because these are universal kits. I don't know, what else, Dan?
I think that's it. I mean, we did that here and we did the exact same thing on this side. Obviously it's mirrored from that side, but it lines up perfectly. You can see the plate in there that we welded in, put a weld nut on the back side so that it's easy to take off and adjust. Now these rods are threaded together and they are also metal, so you can trim them, you can bend them as you need to get the proper angle, because as this arm comes up, it leans away. So
yeah, it's this stuff. So it's a metal rod inside with plastic thread on the outside. You can also bend them so that if you need it to be at a certain angle, which is kind of a little bit of a bend of what we did there.
yeah. All right,
It's pretty easy.
Yeah, so that's the position sensors for the front. We're gonna run this line up and over here somewhere. The airline's already running to the back from the bag, so I think that just about buttons up the front. Run that wire back, and then we're gonna do the position sensors in the back now. And I think we're gonna take another leaf out of the back because it's sitting a little too high in the back, but
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
yeah, I think it's
It's getting very close.
yeah, dare I say the front is
Don't do it. Don't do that.
almost
Okay. I can work
complete.
with that. All right.
Almost. Never say it out loud.
All right.
Go.
Bye.
So we got the car up on blocks. None of the air is hooked up, none of the lines are hooked up, but the suspension's completely installed. So this is at full lift. So this is as tall as it'll be. And then Andy's gonna drop it so we can see what it's gonna look like when she goes low. That's pretty low.
Low as she go.
So we are now underneath the back of the Lincoln. And as you can see, we've got the ride height position sensors in place. Andy made a little tab to mount it down here. And it goes up there to the frame. And it mounts just the same as the front did. So the computer always knows where you're at ride height wise. I think we're about done underneath the car.
If we're not, we forgot about it.
Yeah. If we're
We'll
not,
catch it on the go back through.
we'll come back. But we got all the lines ran and going into the trunk here on both sides. Check out this side too. Got it. All the lines ran up there. So it's nice and neat. Everything is clean. I sanded it.
Grommets.
Yes, rubber grommets.
Grommet.
If you don't have these in your shop, you need them. They're just fantastic. But we sanded all this down and repainted it, so it's all nice and clean and looks good. I think that's just about it. I think we're ready to go above the car now in the trunk.
I need to be significantly cleaner before I touch the
Yeah, the interior
of
and all this is white, so the roof, everything's white on the inside, so we cannot touch it unless we're really clean. So I think that's a good spot to end this part. We'll get into the wiring, plumbing all the airlines, calibrating, all that fun stuff. So
the fun stuff.
That's next.
See you.
So we've got the AirPod kind of in place. We've got some of our lines run. All of our airlines are terminated right there. Get you some close-ups. Got a nice little X pattern right there just because it's cool. He's got some older Memphis amplifiers back here. Someone didn't really do too good a job with all these cables. So we're going to redo those as well, make it look really nice. But right now we're just focused on the AirPod. And the next thing is to take all those cables. So we got our power cable and accessory cable and the USB-C power cable and communication cable for
I'm testing you.
the touchscreen. Yeah,
it's working. You got it right.
Yeah, of course I did.
I like
it's tech. Of course I got it right.
awesome.
But yeah, so that's kind of where we are right now. So now that these are in here, the airlines are hooked up, and all of the power lines for each ride sensor is all plugged up. Now we can run our power into the cab and up to the front, so we can tie it into the battery and get our communication set up, and then we're programming.
Yep. Technically, we should be ready for a first drive tomorrow, but this car's not allowed to see the rain.
And it's supposed to rain
all day.
So
maybe we'll at least get some
we'll get
action in the garage.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some articulation going on just to test it in the shop here. But yeah, so that's what's up next. Here we go. So all the lines are ran. All the wiring is ran. Through here, through the cab, up to the front. Now this car is so long that we actually have to get a Usbc extender because the one that Ridetech supplies is not long enough to go to the dash from the control module out back. So we got to get a new one of those. We had to extend the power. And what other cable did we have to extend? Accessory on. Those had to be stretched almost. How long would you say?
4 or 5 feet.
Yeah, it's a long car. So we had to splice those and stretch them a bit, but I think we're almost there. We're almost ready to test the compressor system and fill the bags. So we're getting there. Right, Andy?
Yes, sir.
leave the driveway for the first test drive because there's a convoy. Alright. It's really smooth already.
It's true.
Well, that's one thing I like about the Ridetech setup with their airbags and the Shockwave is it doesn't ride like an airbag truck or something that's, you know, just bouncing all over the place because it's chilling right on the airbags. You know, this has a nice shock with it, both the front and the back. You don't want to do the air ride on a car like this and then compromise the ride.
Oh no, not at all. Still body leans a bit.
Yeah.
But still fairly flat.
I would say not.
It's a lot less
much
than it was.
I mean, not much for a car this size and this old.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't really do much to decrease body roll. We, you know, we didn't add a 4-link or anything like that. It's still relying on the leaf spring setup.
These compressors really aren't that loud.
No, they really are not.
Like, I mean, they're not non-existent, but
I mean, even with just the exhaust being a little bit louder right now, with a little more speed, you can't hear them.
yeah. I think we finally got it, Dan.
I think so.
Big bump.
What bump?
I don't know. I think it was just a glitch in the matrix. It just looked like a bump.
Even on the windy road like this, it's just super smooth. I love it.
I should have sat in the back. I could have been Miss Daisy.
It's true. I got a hat on and everything. What we're doing now is we're going to test the operation of this top and make sure that it clears all of the stuff that we've just done. We've checked it a few times while we're doing it, but this is the first time since everything's in there that we're checking the top, make sure it clears.
I'm not gonna lie, this top scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's scary.
Has nothing to do with what we've done.
See?
So, we've learned it needs help.
All right, good.
Yeah.
It's under its own weight now.
Me too.
I'm just gonna let it roll. Clears. That's all the way down. Yeah, I mean it's not even on the tank. That's perfect.
Just because.
Close it all the way. Can you imagine going to like a convertible show? All these Miatas and shit, and then you just pull up in this with the roof that's bigger than a Miata?
True. Is it raining?
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
Final test drive?
I think so.
It's cold as shit.
With the top down?
Yeah. So we're gonna go test drive it with no roof in the freezing cold. It is 40 degrees outside right now. If you have one of these, it doesn't matter what the weather is. You have to drive it that time. As long as it's not raining. No rain, no snow, you're good.
No. Moist.
It really is. It handles incredibly.
No, I'm just taking corners. I'm not slowing down.
In the speed limit.
I am in the speed limit. But we're also on a back road with winding curves.
Yeah, I'm interested because this is a big seam in the road here, so I'm interested to see how it takes this seam. Wow.
Let's see.
Yeah, one seam. There was none there. My 2500's like on that bump every time.
I think the front needs to be stiff in the hair now.
Yeah, we need to bring it up just to balance it out, I think. But it's incredible. I cannot wait for Donald to drive this.
I agree.
We have successfully installed a Ridetech Air Ride on the 67 Lincoln Continental. It rides incredibly.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
In all fairness, if it had 4 functioning shocks when it came in, it probably would have rode better.
Even if it had 4 functioning shocks,
It wouldn't have rode this good.
it wouldn't have rode this kid. This is incredible. There's a lot of stigma that's bad about Air Ride, and people think that it just rides like crap. And some people who put it on say it rides like crap. Chances are they did it wrong, or they used the wrong kit, because this Ridetech setup is phenomenal. It went in really easy. Mechanically, it was a breeze to put in. You know, the tedious part of running the lines and the wires and all that stuff, and having to extend all the wires and lines because this is such a boat of a vehicle.
Sure.
But unbelievably impressed. That's why we use all Ridetech stuff, just because we've never been let down. So yeah, that's it for this episode. As always, if you enjoyed it, like, subscribe, comment below. Let us know if there's something you guys want to see, and we'll try to work it in there, and let us know if there's a product you want us to review or install, and we'll try to facilitate it for you guys. I'm Dan. Andy?
Andy, make it Jeep plans.
Yeah, he wants to do more Jeep stuff. So if you guys like Jeeps, comment in the thing below and let us know what you want to see. Peace.
Imagine the people like us that drive past your house.
Yeah.
Is that a Little Red Express? Is that a 65 Fairlane? Is that a Chevelle?
Is that a 66 Falcon? And a 67 Lincoln?